So Quad had Nick on, and, Nick now is basically, like when wrestlers get really old and they go back to the indie scene and they have to wrestle at like county fairs? BYB is the county fair. So this is like him getting the junkyard dog. And he's like, wow, junkyard dog, this is great. But it's 2012. So you're like, all right, it's like the junkyard dog can come in, but he weighs like 300 pounds. He can do a couple chops, a couple of punches, bark like a dog, then he's gassed. He's done. So Nick went on BYB, and I will give Nick this. He went on BYB, and he went on his PR spin tour, and he gives BYB the same energy that he gives, if he's going on a real show. So he didn't make him feel cheated. And here's the other thing. They're both getting something out of this. Nick doesn't have to go hang out with his kids, which is where he doesn't want to be. And Quadfather gets to feel like he's doing a show. So this is actually a nice thing for both of them. And Nick has so run out of room, and people think he is so rancid and so trash and so awful, that the only people who think he's cool are people who hate Steel Toe, and those are the ones who try to protect Nick by going, why are you still talking about him? Because it's fun. And it gets his goat, and it pokes him, and I like it. What can I say? I like a good time. So it's either Steel Toe people or people who are so desperate for views, they'll just pretend Nick's a cool guy. So Nick's kind of doing the equivalent of, in high school, going to sit with all the nerds with bowl cuts and disabilities, and he's going to make all of them laugh. And yeah, it's not the cool kid table, but they'll look at him as the king of the misfits. It's actually kind of a good deal for him. And it only cost him selling Will Herren, old donkey teeth, down the river. Now, Will likes to paint himself as a paragon of journalistic virtue. So Nick basically spills to the BYB boys. Because remember, the one thing Nick can't stand is when people don't allow him to control them. When he loses their control, he loses control. This is why he still is very upset with the old toe. This is why he blew up at Keanu and showed his true colors. That's how Nick treats women. This is why now this Mama K lights Nick up so bad, because she's doing the one thing that Nick despises, that all liars hate, when you call them a liar. So Mama K called him out and said, hey, shithead, I'm the one who took those body cam notes. Those pictures you're showing are not from the body cam. You're lying. And he went off on her. He told her to I mean, look, you can say what you want about Steel Toe. I don't think you're nice to women. I'm a hell of a lot better than this guy. So Nick is going to convince the BYB guys. And when he convinces the BYB guys and they strap on the Baldo just like Will. So Nick sells out Will Herren and then reveals that he got information from Will on Mama K so he could go and manipulate her in court. The worst part is, this guy doesn't realize how Dennis Reynolds he is, and he just blurts this stuff out loud, not realizing you sound like a manipulative creep. So Mama K said yesterday on Keno Casino, Nick gave her the ick immediately. She's creeped out by him. He exudes a dark aura. By the way, this is the guy I know. I love seeing the world get to know the guy I knew. Triangulating, scheming, scamming. Be careful if you tell this guy anything, because he'll let everybody know as soon as he feels like he can get himself out of any kind of trouble. He will sell your information down the river if it can get him out of a tight spot.
I sat and talked to her because she came to every hearing.
Oh, the lady that like Will Herren had come out to all the trial.
Yeah, she's
no trial. Sorry, no trial. Omnibus hearings and whatnot.
Yep, and she's legit.
Quad, I know it's your show, and usually you wouldn't say this to a host of a show, but you're unnecessary. Just kind of, in fact, you know what? Go off the screen. You're not needed right now. It's the Nick show.
Legitimately, that woman is certifiable. She needs help.
Now, remember, every time Nick says something or makes an accusation, he's talking about himself. He's the king of projection. Certifiable, needs help. I don't think anybody would argue that's Nick. All the lies he's told about the cocaine testing, all the lies he's told about the cops touching the hair. He's still doubling down on that one. Usually it's Nick not being able to live with something in himself and projecting. You know, he made fun of those like Jack Murphy and the cuck guys. He was a cuck guy. Me, he's like, Aaron ain't my goo. Now, it's obviously not true. Anybody with half a brain doesn't believe it. However, what we could believe, another Nick projection. Possibly. I hope not, because I don't want anybody leave my goo. Put it in the Smithsonian. No, I don't need a guy getting my goo in his beard.
But like I sat down to talk to her. I was very kind and very polite because
I was very kind, very polite. Now go watch Lady K on the Keno Casino. She said from the first second he sat down next to her, he was trying to use her background and her past to manipulate her. She said immediately, and people can just sense that shit. The problem with Nick is he's very brazen and manipulative, but he ain't very bright. The drugs have fried his brains. So he feels like he's playing 4D chess. Meanwhile, what everyone else sees is, this motherfucker's trying to manipulate me? What is he, retarded? So Lady K saw through it right away. Mama K saw through it right away. Started as Lady K, now she's Mama K. What word are we using? At any rate, he sits down next to her. Now he's about to say that he's taking information that he got from Will Herren. So Will Herren, Mr. Journalist, Mr. I'm being fair, I'm being, K is my source and I'm protecting my source. He's going back to Nick and telling Nick all this private shit that Mama K has told him so that he can be a good Baldo washer. What a piece of shit.
Picture of her coming out of the courthouse because I knew that's what she wanted to do to us.
Wait, go back. I took a picture of her coming out of the courthouse.
Outside and waited, and I took a picture of her coming out of the courthouse because I knew.
I went outside and waited and took a picture of her coming out of the courthouse because I knew that's what she wanted to do to me. Now, this woman hasn't taken a picture of him. This woman has not filmed him. Nothing. So Nick is telling this lie because Derek's kind of stupid and he'll believe it. That he wants you to believe that he went outside, took a picture of Mama K / Lady K because he knew that that's what she wanted to do to him. You see, guys, it was a preemptive picture. He's not a creepy asshole who lashes out at women when he can't get what he wants. He's just really smart.
That's what she wanted to do to us.
And look at this dipshit down here. I feel bad for this guy. This guy's going to believe anything as long as there's a sloppy Joe at the end of it. And this guy, he doesn't want to be here. His wife nags him a lot. Derek probably met him on a Discord somewhere, and he went, you want to do my show with me? And he didn't put show in quotes like he should have. So now this guy's trapped doing this, but what else are you going to do? So Nick says, I went to go take a picture of Mama K because I knew she was going to take one of me. It's, the way 9-year-olds explain a fight to you.
And she kind of lost her mind about it. And I was like, too bad. This is.
Yeah, fair is fair, right? You take pictures of me, I take pictures of you. That's how it goes.
And so.
Yeah, again, Derek, you're not needed here. That's not. Let him take the junkyard dog. This is what you paid the appearance fee for. Let JYD bark.
But
see, Derek's eating this shit up. Derek is not an inquisitive journalist with a skeptical mind. He's like, oh, Nick Rekieta's on my channel. Yeah, take a picture of her, Nick, before she can take a picture of you. That's what I would have done. I'll be honest. Nick picked his marks perfectly. He picked Will Herren as a mark. I'll give him that. He picked Derek as a mark. I'll give him that. These two hapless bastards, they'll believe anything you say.
But so then Will Herren interviewed her after that. And he kind of let me know that she has a backstory of a lot of trauma that was associated.
So Will Herren interviewed a woman. Promise her, you're my source. I'll interview you. We'll just put it all out there. And then Nick goes, he let me know that she has a lot of childhood trauma and stuff. So for those of you who thought old Donkey Teeth wasn't a Baldo-sucking, nose-guarding, Janny sweeper piece of shit, another win for the toe. I told you long ago, and we have it straight from the horse's mouth. Sweep it up, Jan, sweep it up.
With an addict in her life. I think her mother or father or both. And so then I felt a little bad. right? And I
No, you didn't. You heard it and you went, oh, great, I can use that against her. Because this woman's coming to my court hearings. She's on the internet blabbing about my dark energy. And I need something that can slow her down. That's the way we know. That's how this guy thinks. So Will Herren, that's a violation of journalistic ethics, if you ask me. Just telling people dirty little secrets about your source so that you can, Will, shame on you. I mean, when you've got the good donkey and the bad donkey on your shoulder and they're whispering to you through your bicuspids, what do they say to you, man? Listen to the good donkey. Well, anyway, Will gives Nick all this information on poor Mama K. And Mama K's tougher than you think, so she can handle it. And she's got this guy's ass. She's got both of their numbers, Will and Nick. She's got them right in the palm of her hand. So Nick's desperate. So Will goes, hey, buddy, I got some info for you. Do you want it? I mean, I got to finish covering this Lafayette University women's basketball game. But after that, I got the good stuff.
I tried to empathize.
You know, Will Herren is kind of like, you know the guy in Happy Gilmore who yells jackass to distract Happy? And then he thinks him and Shooter McGavin are buds. And Shooter's like, yeah, get the away from me. Just I'll see you when I see you. Nick is Shooter McGavin. Will's the guy in the bucket hat. He just doesn't know.
And
by the way, Will, you see how Nick's already starting to tell your dirty little secrets? I hope you didn't tell him too much, kid. I hope you didn't let him in on, like your alcohol dependency issues. I hope you didn't cry to him when you were drunk or anything like that. I hope you really didn't give him too much, kid, because when his fat's in the fire and it'll be useful to give out some of your info like he just did, it'll happen. You know, the difference is, Will, at least I'll look at you right in the eye and say, don't trust me, because I don't give a shit about you.
The next hearing that she showed up at, I said, hey, I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Oh.
I kind of came.
That's usually what people say when they get their ass handed to them.
I'm off a little aggressive. I'm sorry. People are coming at us and I don't know who anybody is. And so I sat down and tried to hear her story.
By the way, people aren't coming at you, motherfucker. People aren't coming after you. They're making value judgments, dickhead. Stop playing the victim. Child.
And she's just telling me she's really concerned about my kids. And I'm like, look, I got to tell you, my kids are actually in really good shape.
You don't know that yet. First of all, you've never been a particularly attentive father. No offense. I mean, if we're just laying it out there, you're dog shit. So your judgment is not to be trusted. She comes from a family similar to yours, and she's telling you that as a child who grew up that way, there's trauma that you don't know about. Technically, this woman's got a lot she can educate you on if you would listen instead of trying to use her background in trauma to manipulate her.
It was very traumatic. It was traumatic to go through this, and I hate that I caused it. I really do.
It's
but
just that you think the drugs were cool.
Now. It happened. So
there's nothing I can do about that now. It happened. That's a winning attitude right there. So Nick now went from that to on Twitter today. He's saying that should die. Basically wishing on Mama K. He went from, I understand your trauma. We got off on the wrong foot. And that's Nick. Nick only comes to someone hat in hand when he feels like he can get an upper hand. He's like, I understand your trauma, but my kids are okay, and blah, 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 blah. And then Mama K goes, I think I'll decide for myself. I'm not so sure about that. Well, bitch, I hope you do. We were in a very loving and sexual relationship for a very long time. So that didn't go so well. Then Mama K goes on the casino. She felts the shit out of him. Jesse P.S. goes on his show and he says, I have an idea. Keanu and I are going to contact the Quadfather and we're going to get on the show while Nick's on there. Now, if Quadfather knew anything about anything, he would have had Jesse and Keanu ready to go. He would have had Jesse and Keanu on the show with Nick. It would have been gold, but he's got no balls. Look at this. He bent to the baldo. This is the DMs from between Quadfather and Nick. You see, he sends Nick the link. And then Nick goes, if Jesse or Keanu show up, I'm out. And then Quad gives him the, okay, buddy. thumbs up, buddy. I'll make sure that the bad PODAWFUL man and the girl you're scared of don't show up. If they show up here, I'm out. Oh, look at this. The Jannies. We got a couple of Jannies left. Most people are just shitting all over the guy. But you got Mersh is a very loyal Janny. I will say that. He sweeps it up. I got bad news for you, Mersh. There ain't no more coattails to ride. I'm sorry, man. That clout train is derailed. Sorry, pal. But you know what? I bet you that lawsuit with Rumble is going to go aces. Milo told me all about it. Going to be great. Ray Peacock says, wow, Mersh has $1 to spare. High roller. Poor guy. Poor guy. You know, all he had to do was not be a colossal. Maybe I should have given him how to pull up lessons, but just eat the coleslaw, retard. You eat everything else that comes in front of you. Eat the coleslaw and stop talking. Jesse picks on me, officer. Jesse P.S. is picking on me, officer. Can you make Jesse not pick on me anymore? That would be nice. Mersh called the cops because Jesse P.S. picked on him. Can you believe that? He went to a detective, a Florida detective, because the PODAWFUL man was picking on him. I couldn't. I couldn't do it. In fact, today, Nick was still coping about the search warrant. Remember, in the body cam footage, Nick was about to cry, and he's like, you don't have probable cause. And he's like, the officer's like, so not intimidated. He's like, yeah, you know we have plenty of probable cause. We're not here on a whim. He's like, yes, you are. So Nick, today on his show, when he's supposed to be covering trials, I guess has decided that it's very important to relitigate the search warrant. And it went about how you thought.
There is a strong sense of injustice. I still believe.
Oh, you know what? God damn. I always hate that. Isn't that crazy that around Nick, there always seems to be a swirling cloud of injustice? This poor guy, bad luck, schlep rock. If it wasn't for bad luck, the guy wouldn't have any luck at all. Everything that goes on around him just happens to be bad luck, bad information. They just didn't hear it right. If only I could DM them.
Believe that the warrant, because I believe that there was information withheld from the discovery, I believe that the warrant is invalid.
Oh, well, you know what you should do? Check it out, dude. There's this thing called a Frank's motion, right? You should file one of those, and then oh, you did that? How to denied, you say? Shit. Well, I guess the warrant was good then. At least you know.
And I don't think they had sufficient probable cause. Because if you think about it this way, and I know this is going to sound really silly.
No. It's not going to sound really silly. I'm going to prepare you guys properly. It's going to sound really stupid. It's going to sound like the person who's about to say this thing should have never been allowed anywhere near a law degree or a courtroom. Now, luckily, Nick really never got into a courtroom. So, well, I mean, until he was arrested. But what he's about to say might be one of the most top 5 retarded things you've ever heard. Sorry, Mersh, cover your ears. It's going to hurt.
Think about it this way, and I know this is going to sound really silly, but if someone does cocaine on camera,
so it's not powdered donuts anymore. It's not baby formula or whatever the you said it is. It's legit. It's okay. It was cocaine now. All right. Well, at least we're getting that. He admitted that Aaron was right, and he did give me the retarded cocaine stress speech. He admitted that one yesterday, and now we're admitting that we're doing cocaine on the show. All right.
Cocaine on camera. The presumption is not that there is cocaine remaining.
Yes, there always is. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of this water in my home, right? Here we go. Well, the presumption must be that there's no more water in my house. Son of a bitch. Isn't that the worst? When you take your last sip of water every time you take a sip?
There's cocaine remaining, right? Like the cocaine is gone now.
No. It's not a magic trick. I believe people typically operate from a there's more where that came from kind of a premise. I can't believe this guy stayed out of jail as long as he did.
So it's if you see someone who has done cocaine.
And by the way, he's on the BYB show, and these guys are just going, He's used to talking to stupid Will Herren, who's, he's got a cerveza in one hand, and he's sitting there going, I got you, Nick. I hear you all the way. And Will Herren shouldn't believe this bullshit argument, because Will Herren knows when he gets to the bottom of a bottle, there's always another bottle.
It's hard to say. It's more likely than not that you will find cocaine in their house, because the cocaine that you witnessed is gone.
And there can't possibly be any more cocaine.
It's a strange affectation of how drug laws are done in Minnesota, but I think really across the nation, you're punished for possession because they can't punish you for doing them.
And thank God they can't punish you for doing them. And I mean this in all seriousness, because they would have slapped your ass with a felony charge on your daughter testing positive for cocaine in a heartbeat. But there was no way to prove it by the letter of the law how exactly we got there. We all have a pretty good idea. But on the letter, it's kind of like the OJ thing, But we didn't prove it in a court of law.
They have to punish the commercial aspect of it. So either the sale or acquisition of the drugs or the possession of the drugs is the only thing they can regulate and therefore punish with the Controlled Substances Act. And so if it's a dumb irony that if you just do all the drugs, they can't arrest you. Like they can't charge you with anything.
Well, you didn't do all the drugs because they found another 20 grams or so. I mean, bro, just walk away. Another interesting thing that I can co-sign that Mama K talked about. Mama K mentioned that Minnesota is like one of the worst states in the country for CPS. It is. It's really bad. Minnesota is one of those states where they'll give a meth head their baby back in like a week. I mean, if you get your kids taken away and they're gone for like 2-3 months, you really had up really bad. Like you really had to be a colossal disaster. Like someone, like other state, like you were in Texas, you wouldn't get your kids back if they're taken away for 2 months, 3 months in Minnesota. In Minnesota, a meth head will get their kid back like that. It's really bad. Kay was quoting some statistics yesterday on Keno Casino. She was saying like 80 kids a year die in Minnesota in the house that CPS sent them back to. I mean, it's super up. We really don't do a good job.